Hello, all you ghosts and ghouls. Cheesy joke. Today, we are going to start our haunted house picture. Now, if you can see on our screen, I have a very long piece of paper. Normally, I like to do this holding it like it is a portrait. Even though it is a landscape, landscapes go side to side. It's a little easier to see that way. I know. But this is going to be a house on a haunted hill. So what I'm going to do throughout our picture, throughout this video, is I'm going to start on the bottom, and then I'm going to slowly creep my way up to the top. If you have a nice long piece of paper like this, awesome. If you have a normal, I think they're like 9 by 11 and a half piece of watercolor paper, that's perfectly fine too. I just like to draw big. Okay, so just make sure that number one, you are holding your paper going up and down like it is a portrait. Now, I'm going to be doing this in a Sharpie marker. I would like for you to be using a pencil and an eraser just in case. Okay, I like to use Sharpies. If I've taught you at King's Road and Torrey, you know that I like to draw on Sharpie markers so that you can see what I'm actually doing. If I draw on pencil, it's way too light for this document camera to pick up. You won't be able to see what I'm going to do. In the second video, you will see this picture drawn in pencil. And that is only because we will be tracing with an oil pastels, okay? And I need to be able to trace over it so you can see the colors that we're actually using, okay? So, let's get started. In order to draw a house on a haunted hill, we need to draw the hill. I'm going to draw a nice, tall, upside-down U shape. Like I said before, I'm going to be moving up the paper. The paper has been moved up. We're going to put our house right here, kind of crooked, nice and big. Remember, we are going to be tracing. So let's look at the differences in sizes really quickly. Here's a pencil tip. Extreme close-up. There's a pencil tip. Unsharpened. Here's a Sharpie tip. Being a Sharpie tip. Here's an oil pastel tip. Here's a crayon. They're all a lot bigger than the Sharpie marker and the pencil tip that I'm using. Okay, so no matter whatever you're picking to use, that's fine. Just remember that we kind of have to draw a little large because the items that we're going to be using to trace with can be bigger than what we're using to draw with. Okay, let's get started. Haunted houses always seem to me like they're never straight. They're always kind of crooked. We're going to make this kind of look like there is a face. We're going to use the door and 2 windows to achieve that. So we had the building. We're going to put a roof on it. Don't worry. Put a roof on it. Don't you worry. We're going to use an upside down U shape for our door. And then we're going to go back and add a tiny curve like that. So straight away, it looks like a mouth that's open. We put that tiny little curve in there because we're going to make it look like that door is open. So here's your door handle. To even make it look more like your door is open. Sometimes doors have like a T on them. A little fancy wainscoting, I believe it's called. We could do that. We could have it on an angle. See how it's not straight going across. It's on kind of an angle going down. Now it looks like it's really open. Let's work on some windows. Okay, just for this part, I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see this a little bit better. I'm going to have 2 windows. I'm going to start with 2 lines. One is a little bit taller than the other. Extreme close-up. Little line on the bottom. Okay, we'll repeat that over here. Short line. A little bit longer line on the bottom. We'll put lines on an angle like that to finish our window. Now it doesn't look like a very happy house. We've got a mouth, we've got two windows that kind of look like eyes. We're going to add some T's in there for our window panes. Okay. If you want to, you could add little details like this. Sometimes windows have some molding around them. Now it kind of looks like it's got angry eyebrows. All right. Roof. I just got done watching the Addams Family cartoon with my kids, and they had a funky roof on it. So it comes out a little bit like this. If you want to draw your normal roof, you can. I feel like every haunted house, creepy house I've ever seen, they always have a roof that looks like that, flat on top. It's not just like a gabled roof, nice and triangular. And let's add maybe a hole in a roof. We'll paint that black next week. Just leave it blank, and I'll remind you when we go to paint it. Don't worry. We could add some shingles. Now we could go through and draw perfect rows of shingles. Okay, or we could give the impression that there are shingles. Okay, and to give the impression that there are shingles, we're going to use the letter I, capital I, sideways H, by the way. You could put a couple together, but we could just put them throughout, and that way we have the idea that there are all these shingles all over the place. We can even add a tower. Okay, we could use a backwards J shape, curvy L, backwards J, whatever. And then on this part, we'll add like a curved line. Make this look like a castle tower. Same kind of idea for the shingles. Remember, if I ever go too fast for you, you can hit the pause button. Beauty about these videos. Think about it. If I was in class with you, or Mrs. Linder was in class with you, we would stop periodically and walk around the room and help people out. Now that we're kind of working independently, you can just hit pause. And whenever you're all caught up, you can get caught up. Okay, let's add some windows on this tower. So we're going to use kind of the same shape that we did for our door here, kind of like a U shape. And instead of having them right next to each other, I'm going to kind of have them kind of going down on a curve. So it's like they're turning around, like maybe a spiral staircase is in there. Just like that. We'll go back and trace and paint those. Okay, I'm going to turn my paper back up the right way. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So far, so good. Oh, yeah. We're going to add a walkway. Now, we want this walkway to kind of give us some added depth to our picture. Our house is nice and big. We're going to start our walkway up here. And if we have it kind of curve down this way throughout our paper, and our stones get larger as we go down closer to us, the viewer, it's going to add some depth. It's going to make it look like the house is far away. Okay. Also, visually, when we look at this picture, our eyes are going to naturally follow this walkway up to our house. Okay. This haunted house will point to something up here. It's literally going to be pointing to something up here. And then we'll follow our eyes will follow around the outside of that sky. Okay. So there is a little method here. Okay. Now these stones, I don't want them to be perfect. I want them to look like they're broken. See how they're kind of curving down towards me now? If you want to add some cracks into your stone, you can do that too. Oh yeah. Look at that. And maybe one last one. It's kind of coming off my paper. Okay, cool. Dun, dun, dun. We can add, how about we add like something like a creepy broken fence, like one of those metal cast iron fences over here. Make it look like this place hasn't been taken care of in a while. You could add some like long grass. Ooh, graveyard. Let's do that. So whenever I like to draw things that are supposed to be stuck in the ground and they're not on a line like this, I always like to add a line underneath them because, like, look at this. So we'll use an upside down U shape for our tombstone, and then we're going to go back and we're going to add a little line like that because that's like the side of it. We want to put a little perspective on this. But if I just leave it like that, it looks like it's just kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere. So just to add like a little bit of something, I'll throw that on there. Okay. Maybe we'll add like one or two more. Maybe some more grass. Cool. Now, just like our other couple of projects, this is going to be like the basis of like what you want to do. If you want to add more things to it, go for it. You're going to be kind of limited to what you can trace because oil pastels, depending on what you have at home, some of them are very, very big. Some of them are very small, but still tracing things can be kind of tricky. And painting them with watercolor paint can be tricky also. So I'm done down here. If you want to add something over here or on this side, go for it. Maybe just real quick to balance it out a little bit. Another little creepy old fence. Okay, so up here, we're gonna go to our sky. So let's add a couple of things. Let's first, let's add a moon. So this moon is going to be like a backwards C. And then we're gonna put the number 3 inside of it. Watch how I do this. See how I did that 3? We're gonna add to this moon a face. So we're gonna add a smile, an eye, a little dot for the nose. Some of you might have already known that trick already. Classic Thompson trick. Maybe over here we'll put some clouds with some lightning. I like to start my clouds off. You know this already. Nice flat line. We're going to put that popcorn top on top. We start with smaller curves, we get bigger. And then we kind of bring it back down. Lightning. Some of my students have a tricky time drawing lightning, so this is an easy way to do it. What letter was that? A capital L. What letter is that? The letter V. Okay, we're going to kind of just repeat that L shape, and then we're going to connect these two sides. Boom. Nice and easy. L, V, L. Lightning bolt. I'm going to add classic ghost. Ghost with the most. Maybe we'll put another, I'm going to try that cloud again. Let me show you how to draw that lightning one more time. Maybe it's hitting the fence. Capital L. V, L, connect the end. Boom. When you zoom out, that's a pretty good haunted house on a hill. The ghost. This is going to be kind of tricky, but let's go for it. It's at a spider web right here. I'm going to make an X. I'm going to make a T. I'm going to add some U shapes in there. It's kind of tricky with the Sharpie. You'll have better luck with the pencil. If there's other things that you want to add to this, witches, zombies, goblins, gargoyles, spooky spiders, go for it. I want to see what you want to add. And we have plenty of open space in here too. Okay. Just remember what I showed you before. You're using this. Our oil pastels, if you have them, they look like that. That's a big difference between this pencil tip and that. And if you have crayons, it's definitely smaller, but it's still pretty big. Okay. The second part of your video is going to be coming up soon. Make sure you watch how we trace. Okay. The tracing for this project in particular is going to be very important. Okay. So please follow along so we don't make a mess. See you in a bit. Have fun.